I was raised in Schaumburg, northwest suburbs, and I went to school at Columbia out in Chicago, and I graduated in '05. You know, I've just been, well, I was raised in the suburbs, like, all my life, like, from, you know, kindergarten, preschool, all the way up to, like, my senior years. And even while I was going to Columbia, I still lived at home in Schaumburg. And it was just something about the city when I just started to go, like, I have family in the city, and, you know, there was a lot more diversity with people. Like, in Schaumburg, you know, it's just like, it's just like all white people, you know, like, I don't know if I can say that, but, you know, it's like all white people. And so when I got out to the city, you know, I just saw, like, more diversity. There was more, you know, black people and more Latinas and, you know, Indian people, like, everybody, and it was just something that I never saw before. And I just really enjoyed, you know, seeing all the diversity and stuff like that. So even in high school, you know, me and my friends would just take trips out to the city all the time, and we'd be, like, all over Chicago, just hanging out and just exploring the city. And it was just completely, it was like this sort of, like, freedom just from the whole, you know, suburban life, which is just like the same thing every day. It's just really routine, and it's sort of, you know, just like flat and boring, where in the city it just had all these different layers to it, of all these different things going on. Like, people were just from everywhere, and it was just fun to see other people like that and talk to other people like that from. Well, a lot of it is just off of my own observations of people, and I just try to reset them and exaggerate them a little bit, because again, it's something that I've never seen before. Like, I've, you know, never seen it before, and it's just, you know, these women that have, like, these attitudes and just, like, exude this confidence all the time about themselves that I would just never see. So it's just sort of me, like, just playing up on these, well, let's see, I guess it's just, you know, me just showing this, you know, confidence, and just, like, making it even more on a grander scale than what, you know, it usually is, and just making it even more so that it can be more relatable to people that look at my pictures like, oh yeah, I can relate to that picture, because that is me, you know. Just, like, I just sort of try to, I just you know, recreate the situation and then document it. Like, even, like, coming here, you know, I could just see, like, a lady, you know, just, like, sitting at the bus stop, you know, like, with her hands in her pockets, all just, like, you know, all voguish, but she's just really, like, tired of waiting for the bus, and it could just look really cool to me. So then I could just, you know, tell a model, okay, well, you know, picture, you know, the girl that's just waiting for the bus. You know, it's really cold, you got to get to work, and just a random day that you know, you have to get to work. And then, you know, people, they can relate to these because they've seen them, and it's just sort of like they don't really pay attention to it, but, you know, they know exactly the kind of person I'm talking about. They know the emotion that I'm talking about, and so they, you know, copy it. And, you know, we just get clothes, and I try to make, you know, if it was like a brown jacket, maybe now it's a gold jacket, just to, like, give, like, pop and stuff like that. And, you know, makeup artists and stuff like that to make her up and do the hair, just, like, maybe a little bit more glamorous than the girl that just had her hair, like, back in a ponytail and a baseball hat, and then just make the pose, and then it's fun. It's always fun, like, people that can relate to it, and they've seen it before. So it's, I like fashion. I like fashion photography. So, but I also like documentary photography, and you know, documentary photojournalism, whatever. So it's just me taking, you know, both of those things, just putting them together. You know, that's why I can just sort of tell them out. You know, like, give her, like, sort of a situation, and then, like, this is her area, and just let her be, and then shoot off that, instead of, you know, like, and just let it be about the environment altogether, instead of necessarily about the clothes. Like, the clothes do matter, because I do want, you know, like, certain colors, so I like pictures to be colorful, so that's more so, like, where the clothes come in. Showcasing just that thin layer, because it can open up all those different discussions, and if it does, I think that that's great, because that's what I want. Like, I encourage that kind of discussion, you know, about the community and stuff, because I grew up, you know, like, pretty, well, I'm not rich by any means, you know, but my family was poor by any means either. So, you know, for me to sort of see this, for me to, you know, like, maybe see a girl that does, you know, like, live in the project, and she has, you know, like $200 gym shoes on and stuff. My mom just took me over to Kohl's, you know, to pick out, you know, some Reeboks or something like that. Even though it would be cute Reeboks, but you know, like that's sort of interesting to me, and that's what would, you know, drag me out to the city all the time on these like trips with friends. You know, to be hanging out like in like hood stuff like that, like places that we know we have no business being at. You know, and this is my view of that world. You know, the Walmart project is. Me and a really good friend of mine, Chance, always go to Walmart and take pictures every year. Like, I'll have to show you some of those. But, like, we dress up alike, and we go into Walmart, and we pretend like we're like this couple, and we take these pictures together. But it's just getting a little hard because Walmart portrait studios, they're sort of going out of business. Like, I don't know the contract they have with them. So, this portrait photographer who's just there, just working with kids all the time. And then we walk in, you know, and have these girls like in like these, you know, $1,000 dresses, you know, makeup artists with us and stuff, and we're like, yeah, hi, we had a 2 o'clock appointment, you know, and they're just like, okay, you know, sometimes some of them get upset, like, they're like, you know, what are you guys doing, or whatever, but it's like, hey, you know, we're paying customers, you know, they have to work with us. Well, right now I'm really starting to focus on my photography. Like I've told myself that like every year, and then I'll get bound on a movie project or something, which will distract me from that because the film is like all your life. You know, it takes up everything. So, you know, I want to continue to work on my Walmart project, and there's a few more of those that I want to do and do a little video with it. I'm also working on a documentary/mockumentary with about black kids in being raised in like predominantly white suburbs, you know, and I will maybe like do like a portrait project in that, and like something else that's on. I've just been documenting comedians in Chicago, which is just like a portrait project or something to do to sort of, you know, where I have like personal work. This is something, even though it's personal too, it's just sort of like, it's just something completely different, me just photographing comedians, you know, because they're artists too, and it's sort of like a lost art, and it's an interesting career to me, you know, like to have this career of like making people laugh and happy all the time. So really what keeps me going is that I just hope that I can, you know, someday get to the point where, you know, with my work and with who I am, be like outspoken, that I can get to the point where there doesn't have to be that problem, you know, where if we're like, oh, it's an art budget cut, then maybe I could be so successful that I can meet with someone and change their mind, or I can cut a check and be like, oh, it's cut, no problem, I'll take care of it, you know, because art's really important. It's really important because if I didn't study art, I wouldn't be sitting here, you know, like saying, oh, I shoot this and that. Like, it's all that I wanted to do. And it's important that other students, you know, children or young adults, whatever, and adults get that opportunity, if so, you know, to express themselves and know that, you know, careers are available and you can make a living doing it, or that you can still have, you know, even if your job's something else, that you can still have a good life just making your art, even if it's something that's just a hobby. Like, I can't believe that they cut that. It's like when I hear that, I'm like, how dare you, you know, like, you can't do that to people, because, you know, art is such a passion that, I mean, what are you going to do, like, you can't take it away. You know, I just feel really lucky right now, you know, that, you know, you came here, and, you know, Chicago Artists Coalition, that they even, you know, started that program, and that they chose, you know, they, like, saw something in my work.